What's good, y'all? Anderson Emerald here to talk about the Brussels Diamond League, which is going down tomorrow, Friday, August 22nd. This is the penultimate Diamond League before the Diamond League final in Zurich, going down next week on the 27th and 28th. Check out the recap I did of Lausanne, which just happened yesterday. Yes, I know y'all coming for me with Oblique Seville. It is what it is. Amazing performance. But I also did a recap of the entire meet with, the men's 100, the women's 100 hurdles, the men's, 110 hurdles, like everything, the long jump and all that. So check out that full recap. Also, check out the Sidious Mag podcast where Chris and Preet, they were able to break down not only all the events, but also the distance races that, of course, I don't cover here as well. So let's dive into the women's 100 meters at the Brussels Diamond League. This is a high quality race that is very, very intriguing considering the names that we have lining up here. First off, Melissa Jefferson-Wooden is coming here as the clear favorite to be able to not only get the win here, but she's looking, in my opinion, as the slight favorite for the gold medal at the World Champs. I'll talk about Julian Alfred in a second. But she's going to be going up against Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, 5-time world champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, the GOAT of the women's 100 meters. Sha'carri Richardson, she's trying to get herself into the conversation. We'll talk about that. Favor O'Philly is in this field. Patricia van der Wicken is in the field. You have Maya McCoy, Daryl Nita. So some decent competition overall. Obviously, the 3 women in the middle lanes, Shelly, Melissa, and Sha'carri, are who everyone will have their eyes on. But Daryl, Maya, and Favor are definitely going to be in the conversation. Now, Melissa has been on fire this year. 10.65 to win USA's, 10.66 to win the Celestia Diamond League, on top of the 10.7s that she's run all throughout the year, including 10.75 to just slightly edge out Julian Alfred at the Prefontaine Classic. 2 things. 1, coming into this race, all eyes are going to be on if she's able to run another 10.6, if she's able to run fast once again. I'm not holding my breath for another 10.6. Maybe she is capable of that, but I think as we get closer to the World Championships, especially with this maybe her last meet, I don't know if she's running the Diamond League final, but I don't want to get too hung up on times. If she runs 10.7, if she runs 10.8, what I'm looking at here is how she's able to control the race. That's what I'm really focused on with Melissa Jefferson-Wooden. Is she able to maintain that consistency that she's been displaying with a very explosive start and strong maintenance through the second half of the race? Or is she maybe going to switch things up? Who knows? I doubt she will, but that's what I'm going to be keeping an eye out for. Even less so with Melissa Jefferson-Wooden, I'm definitely keeping an eye out for Shelly-Ann and Sha'carri because they are 2 intriguing figures that are entering the World Championships at different positions relative to not only their careers, but also where they're at in the season. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, she most recently ran at the Hungary Continental Tour meeting. She ran 11.07 seconds, so not an amazing performance by any means, but she has run 10.91 seconds to make the Jamaican team this year. This, of course, is her final season on the track, and I think the question for many people is how will she fare at the World Championships? And the question for me is, will she be able to get on the podium? I'm one who still thinks that Shelly-Ann is capable of getting onto the podium because, in my opinion, Melissa is the gold medal favorite. Julian is right behind. And then I still do see it as a dash for the bronze medal. There's so many women who are in the convo between Sharika Jackson, Tina Clayton, you have Aaliyah Hobbs, you have Kayla White, obviously you have Sha'carri Richardson, you have, so many women. Obviously I can't think off the top of my head, but there's a bunch of women, Dean Asher-Smith, et cetera, et cetera. So many women are in the conversation that Shelly-Ann still has a chance. She is one of the best, championship performers in history. The only time that she didn't, quote unquote, show up at a championships was 2011 when she got 4th place. But literally every single other time that she's competed at a global championships, she got on the podium. Yes, last year, Olympic Games, she didn't even run. She pulled out of the semifinal. So, that's the second time, I guess you could say. But Shelly-Ann is a consummate performer, and I think she's still in the conversation. Now, the 11.07 in Hungary maybe wasn't the best indicator, but is she able to make improvements on that here? Is she able to go sub 11 seconds? Or is she able to get close, to whoever is, going to be ahead of her, right? How is she going to finish within the race? That's what I'm looking out for with Shelly-Ann in the Brussels Diamond League race tomorrow. Now, Sha'carri Richardson, I think she's also in the medal conversation, but her biggest thing based on what we've seen from this season is she going to make the final? And I think that conversation is arising because she's been slowly getting better, but not at the rate that many people have expected. 11-4, 11-19, 11-07, and now most recently 11-05 at the Celestia Diamond League. So Sha'carri, yes, she's the defending world champion, but she has to ensure she's making some progress. But in my opinion, I don't put it past Sha'carri Richardson to get to a world championships and run 10-9, run 10-8. I think she's more than capable of doing that. Again, the season hasn't indicated that, but we'll see how she actually does show up. And of course, she's not like in medal contention, but it would not be surprising. Of course, I'll do predictions later another time, but we'll see if she is able to make some progress. If she runs sub 11 seconds here, that I think is a very, very good indicator. So Sha'carri, Shelly-Ann, if they run sub 11, to me, that is a positive indicator going into the world champs. Melissa, I think everyone agrees that she's probably going to get the win, but how is she going to win? Obviously, the time is one aspect, but is she going to be just as dominant and execute the race the way that she has been doing all throughout the year? Now, after that, Favor Philly is in the conversation. She's been running mostly 200s more recently, but she has run, I think, 10.8 seconds this year already. Yeah, 10.87. So she's very, very fast. I did do some research. The commentator in the 200 at the Lausanne Diamond League, they said that she's going to be in Tokyo, but we know the whole Turkey transfer of allegiance situation. I looked up, I couldn't find anything about Favor being in Tokyo to represent. So if anyone knows, go in the comments, let me know, but I don't think she's going to be in the Tokyo as far as I know now. Daryl Nita, Maya McCoy, two athletes I'm have an eye out for. Daryl, she'll be at the World Championships. Maya won't be there, but Maya is someone who's been having a great season, and Daryl is kind of getting a better footing in the second half of the year. So shout out to all these women in the women's 100 meters. After that, though, let's take a look at this men's 400. Now, this is an intriguing, or has some intriguing storylines because of the point situation going into the Diamond League final and wild cards that are potentially on the line. Vernon Norwood, he's looking to potentially get a spot to the World Championships because he finished 4th place at USA's. Now, if Vernon, if Ja'carri Patterson, or if Chris Bailey, if one of them, or Caleb McRae as well, I don't know if Caleb is in the point standing, but if any of them wins the Diamond League final, then Vernon Norwood gets a spot to the World Championships. Quincy Hall, seems like his season may be over. It seems like it. I don't quote me on it, but I don't think he's going to be in the Diamond League final. But it is what it is. If he wins the Diamond League final, then he gets a wild card to Worlds, but seems unlikely as now. The rest of the field, though, Muzala Samakonga coming off a very strong 44.1 second win at the Hungary Continental Tour. He is rounding into excellent form. You have Bapu Ndori, always up and down, representing Botswana to the fullest, but like he's always up and down, can never count him out. Kebenat Shippy, also representing Botswana, always in the conversation. You have Charles Dobson. Charles is I think he won the Diamond League final last year in Brussels. Now, he's been having a pretty decent season. He just won the London Diamond League, running 44-1. So he's someone who could definitely keep a lookout for. Alexander Doom, remember, world indoor champion in 2024. He's run very fast. 44.15 is his personal best, but he hasn't had the greatest season yet. Ja'carri Patterson is someone that I do think is dangerous. He's already run 43 seconds this year. He won USA's. He won the Rabat Diamond League as well. So he can really show up here. And of course, Vernon Norwood. Vernon Norwood he's like, yo, I'm peaking for the Diamond League final. So this is a very strong field that even if it's not like flashy, it's not high profile, keep a lookout for some of these athletes in this men's 400. I'm very, very intrigued on what unfolds here. Will someone, this is maybe where I like to play with time. Like, will someone run sub 44 seconds, or will we just see a competitive race like we saw at the Hungary Continental Tour? So shout out to that. Men's 200, this one is not as high profile in terms of the big names, but I like this field. There's some interesting people in this field. First off, I'm looking at Alexander Ogando. Alexander Ogando, in my opinion, after, you have Letsila Teboho, Noah Lyles, Kenny B, that's obviously the big three. After that, I think Alexander Ogando, Brian Lavelle, and some other guys are kind of the core, Kari Makarawu. I think those guys are the ones to look out for when talking about the 200 in terms of spoilers for the podium. Now, someone like Robert Gregory, someone like Courtney Lindsay, they're also, and Makacharamba, they're also in the conversation. But Alex Ogando, he's someone who's made every single global final in the 200 dating back to 2022. And he's run 19.86 this year. He's run 19.8 a couple times. It would not surprise me to see Alex on the podium if someone else does falter. Again, that includes Noah, Letsile, Kenny, and then Brian Lavelle as well. So, always in that convo. Keep a lookout for him. He's probably the leader in this Brussels 200-meter field. Robert Gregory is also another one that I have my eye on. I don't know if people came for me, but I picked Robert Gregory to make the USA team. He did make the team, finishing third place. He ran 19.80 seconds. And now this is his first Diamond League race since the USA team, right? He ran at Prefontaine, but his first Diamond League race since making the US team. We'll see how he actually does fare here. Again, I'm not saying that he's in the medal conversation. You know, he has the capabilities and the time, but like, it's a whole nother realm with like the consistency that guys have put down. So keep a lookout for him in this Diamond League race. Joe Fahnbulleh, he's made every global final since Tokyo 2021. So you can never count him out. And he's had some good races, but a little up and down. Christian Coleman, people sleep on him as a 200-meter runner. You know, he didn't make the team in the 100 or the 200, but he's running the 200 here. He could have a very good showing. Maka Charamba, he got 7th place, I think, at the Olympic Games last year in the 200. 2nd place indoors and outdoors in the 200 behind Kare Makarawu, also from Zimbabwe. So I would not sleep on Maka Charamba. I feel like he has a lot more potential than what he's displayed. He's run 19.92 seconds this year. And again, he got 7th at the Olympics last year. So could put something really strong down. Kyrie King, he's always in the convo in terms of one of the consistent guys on the circuit to a degree. So never sleep on him. And then Udodi Onwuzurike. He's been a little quiet this year. He's only run 20.17 this year. So not really strong, but you know, he's going to be at Worlds. So keep a lookout for Udodi from Nigeria. Now, last two competitions, we have the women's 400-meter hurdles. A lighter field, but Anna Cockrell is entering this conversation, and in my opinion, she is the clear favorite here. Anna Cockrell, she's run 52.8 this year, so she got 2nd place at USA's, only behind Dalila Muhammad. I think she is squarely in the conversation for a medal. I've been saying it for most of the year, where you have Femke Bol, Dalila Muhammad, Anna Cockrell, Jasmine Jones, Savannah Sutherland. Those are kind of the 5 women who are really vying for the medals. Savannah kind of didn't do well at the Celestia Diamond League. Same thing with Jasmine Jones, but I think that they're definitely going to be, you know, getting into form, and we'll see. I think Dalila and Anna are going to the Diamond League final, so we'll see them match up. But Anjanette Knight, very much having a great season. She's run 53.6 this year. She's on pace to, she could spoil. She can do something very special. I think she has a lot of untapped potential. Gianna Woodruff didn't have a good race, you know, the last time out, but she's someone who can never sleep on. Even Naomi Vanderbroek, you have Ayomide Foronzo. Like, these women are very much, even Kemi Adekoye, you know, these are some strong contenders when talking about the 400-meter hurdles, but it's really Anna Cockrell, then Anjanette Knight, and then the rest of the field, in my opinion. So shout out to the women's 400-meter hurdles. And last one is the women's triple jump. I'm gonna be honest, you know me, outside the women's 100, the women's triple jump might be the best competition that we have right now. So here you have Thea Lafond, the Olympic champion. You have Shanika Ricketts, the Olympic silver medalist. You have Jasmine Moore, the Olympic bronze medalist. You have Lianis Perez-Hernandez, the world indoor gold medalist from this year. You have Lidamis Povea, who's the world indoor silver medalist, I think. I forget if Ana Pelotero got the silver or bronze. I think Povea got the silver. So strong field. And then you add in Akeelia Smith. Then you add in Nejad, right? There's a strong contender, consistent women who are in this field. What I'm looking forward to is seeing what Thea Lafond can do here. She hasn't competed in a little bit, but she's now jumping back in preparation for the Tokyo World Champs, looking to get another gold medal at World Champs. Shanika Ricketts, she's coming off winning the NACAC championships. Check out the recap video that I did. And she I think could win a gold medal too. Like, obviously she got silver last year, so she's capable, but like, she's looking very good. Very, very good. Lianis Perez-Hernandez is also someone who I feel like gets a little underestimated. Perez-Hernandez she medaled in 2023. She missed the podium last year, but there's an argument that she was the most consistent jumper in 2024, right? She just didn't, you know, show up at the Paris Olympics. So I don't know. Don't sleep on her. Also, Povea got 5th place at the Tokyo Olympic Games, and she's still in the conversation. And then Jasmine Moore. Jasmine Moore has been doubling in the triple and the long jump, coming off winning the Celestia Diamond League in the long jump. I think she's only doing the triple jump at the Diamond League final in Zurich, but here she is also in the conversation for a medal. If she only focuses on the triple jump in Tokyo at the Worlds, that's going to be dangerous. So essentially all these women are in the conversation for like something really, really strong. Essentially these top 5 women are who you should definitely keep an eye out for. Also, Akeelia Smith, Velasco, you know, she's been on the rise as another Cuban. So this is a very strong field, very, very strong field. I'm intrigued to see just how things unfold. I'm not even worried about, you know, what marks they jump, just how do things unfold across the board. But that is the Brussels Diamond League going down tomorrow. Again, this is the penultimate Diamond League before the Diamond League final next week. Very excited to see how this does play out, but let me know what you think, what you're excited for, you know, in terms of the women's 100, the men's 200, the men's 4, like all the races that we have on the track. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Truly do appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.